spending almost a year in art school is a mistake. I mean, I don't want to sound like a spoiled brat. I'm definitely thankful that I get to learn some stuff that I definitely wasn't getting in my ordinary life as someone who likes to draw, but I think this is one of the problems when you're trying to quote-unquote major in a certain field, or at least this is the kind of problem that's going on in my country. The education system is bonkers. You just have to learn a bunch of unrelated topics before finally getting into the stuff you've been waiting for just to meet the prerequisites. I had to take a philosophy class before getting into the semester where they finally give the students certain options. Like, why is that? It was only until later that I declared I couldn't take it anymore and I decided to bail out. While I do think education is a right for every human being, but now it's something a person has to desperately achieve just to live his life, I also think that we don't need a ridiculous standard just to get the type of education we want, but we're not here to talk about that. I'm going to talk about a little bit of my experience in art school and just being a quote-unquote artist in general. We all know that the standards of art have gone down drastically, having its own generations and its own subcategories like the expressionist, the minimalist, etc. Really, the only ist that I'm a part of is a cartoonist, but it's because we use the term artist so loosely that anyone with a little bit of talent can identify as one. But let's talk about art itself. What is the definition of artist? Well, Google says that it's anyone who does drawing or paintings as a profession or as a hobby. But if you draw something like this during the times of Michelangelo, can you really consider yourself as an artist? I mean, with such mediocre standards, it's just common sense that everyone's going to laugh at you. Take a look at someone like Picasso. He did make some paintings, I guess, but what standards must we have to consider his work as art? Or maybe not. Maybe it's all just money laundering. We all know all the ridiculous stuff they put in museums, like the taped banana, the white canvas, the urinating military woman, and the golden working toilet they call America. I mean, you can make whatever you want as shocking, obscene, disgusting, or meaningless as it is, but pressuring everyone to call it art is just pretentious. A history teacher back in my art school implied that the value of art depends on the artist. Meaning if someone like Da Vinci just drew something as simple as a straight line on a canvas, then that's it. It's art. And I was like, okay, I went into art school to produce something that at least can benefit society, but why am I doing this? Why are we doing this? I already explained that the only ist that I'm a part of is being a cartoonist, and it is my preference or the subcategory of being an artist that I actually enjoy. There's this stereotypical notion that the peak of artistic excellence is drawing or painting something down to the exact detail to the point where you can't really distinguish it from reality. I mean, that's sort of a reasonable standard to hold, but unfortunately, it's not my taste. Cartooning is the art of boiling things down to its simplest form, and sometimes people even forget this definition. Like when someone says, "The cat you're drawing doesn't look like a cat," or "This house needs more detail." There's the phrase, "Beauty is in the eye of the beholder," or "Art is subjective." But there are still a lot of people who disagree with that. They think that you, or whatever artist, must follow their standards where they thought it's pleasing enough. Of course, this kind of thinking can be used in a way for artists to improve themselves, but not everyone has the same set of skills. It's really hard for me to appreciate super realistic paintings, because if you're gonna make something that's exactly the same as the object you're imitating, then I'd rather just look at a photograph. Of course, that doesn't say that I don't appreciate the amount of skills or talent the painter has. It's that there's just so much on a piece of image that I can appreciate. I can't compliment the details of each individual leaf on a tree someone had painted. Of course, no one in their right mind would do that when judging a realistic painting, but I know every once in a while there will be some over-analytic maniacs who point out the littlest mistakes and drags everyone into their standards. This is why, when it comes to art, I hate arguing with perfectionists. But that's a topic for another time. If you like this video, click the like button and subscribe. If you don't, dislike and maybe leave a comment. Just be respectful about it.